Hello everyone, this is Donnie with Pvgna.com, and today I'm making a new video to cover the top 5 things that people do wrong with Smoke of Deceit. Now, just really quick, Smoke of Deceit is an extremely powerful item that allows you to initiate on the enemy team and actually walk under wards or detection without being seen, unless you are in the range of towers or other enemy heroes. And it's something that most people know about but don't use to its full potential. And Smoke of Deceit is one of the most important items in the game, both for getting a lead and also coming back into a game when you're behind. So let's get right into it. Number 1 is not buying a Smoke of Deceit early. Smoke of Deceit costs 50 gold. You can buy it at the very beginning of the game, and it replenishes one every 660 seconds or 11 minutes. And that's a really long time in Dota 2, as you may know. Smoke of Deceit only can have 3 charges in stock at any given time, and therefore if you have 3 in stock, then you're kind of wasting a bunch of time that could be used to replenish and get more Smoke of Deceits. So the thing is, if you want to make a kill happen or you are behind and you need to come back into the game, you need smokes usually to do that in the most efficient and most safe way. So the more smokes, the better, basically. And if you buy a smoke in the early game, then by the time you're ready to roam around the map, you'll probably have if you haven't used that first smoke, you'll have 4 at your disposal. Or if you have used that first smoke, you'll still have another 3 at your disposal by the time you're ready to gank with, say, like a blink dagger on your initiator. So buy smoke early, and whether you use it in the early game or not, you can always leave it in your stash, in your backpack, put it on the courier, drop it in base. But remember to buy Smoke of Deceit when there are 3 in stock, so that another one can restock, so that you always have these extra smokes, which can really pay off in the end. Like if you need to contest Roche towards the end of the game, or if you are behind and you need a key kill to be able to push a tower, or anything like that. Having more smokes than your opponents gives you more options for how you want to play the game. So buy smoke early. Number 2 is not timing the Smoke of Deceit with power spikes. And power spikes is a pretty complicated topic that a lot of people know somewhat about. So I'm not going to get into power spikes specifically, but for example, if you have an axe or a Magnus or a puck or somebody that requires a blink dagger, that hero getting that blink dagger is considered a power spike. Slark getting a shadow blade. And it doesn't necessarily have to only be around items. It can be, Juggernaut getting Omni Slash, or Magnus getting Reverse Polarity. Items can also be power spikes. Specific levels and abilities can be power spikes. Enigma having Black Hole come off of cooldown. Let's say you used it once, and then once it's back off cooldown, a couple minutes later, then you can smoke up and use that ability again. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just, pop a smoke because they think that they should be doing something, not really checking to see whether their teammates have their ultimates, not really checking to see whether people have mana or health, but they just, they feel like they need to smoke. I should be smoking right now, so I'm just going to use a smoke. And that's the best way to waste a smoke or take a really bad fight, because you're forcing something when you don't have the resources to accomplish it. So time smokes with those power spikes for the best results, and that's how you can really snowball a game, because you take a good fight with your big ultimates, and then you push a tower, and then you go back to farming, and by the time your ultimates are off cooldown, you have another smoke and you're ready to go. Number 3 is not bringing wards when you smoke. This is something that if you watch pro games, you'll always see happen, is that when they smoke into the enemy jungle or around the Roche pit, one of the supports usually, is always kind of up front, and they place wards over tree lines or up on top of cliffs to give vision. And this is something that's really important because Smoke of Deceit actually breaks it, or it dispels so you're visible again at 1025 units. And most heroes have an 1800 vision, or 1800 unit vision. So there's like almost an 800 vision discrepancy between when the smoke breaks and when heroes can see. So you can actually get much closer to heroes than you normally would be able to if you were just running at them. Wards also have a 1600 vision, so if there's a hero sitting behind a ward or behind trees and they have a ward that would normally scout you, it won't, because you have a smoke until you're close enough. So as you're smoking, make sure that you have a ward or a sentry and observer combo so that you can detect invisible heroes or just heroes that are farming in the jungle and get vision of them before they get it of you, and then also have good vision of the area where you may be taking a big fight, since Smoke of Deceit is generally used to initiate a team fight as well. So that's number 3, and number 4 is taking bad routes to smoke, or when you are smoked, to the enemy team or where you want to try and find them. So what is a bad route? Well, as you know, there's various paths that you can move around the map in Dota, and there are high ground and low ground. And a bad route, and this is something that happens so often, is that people smoke and then they run to the low ground because they're going down into the river, and then they run right up the high ground. Let's say you're attacking the Dire safe lane or the Dire off lane. You run down into the river and then you run immediately up into that shrine area, and basically you're kind of giving away the advantage of vision because you can't see up there if you're not placing wards, and the enemy will be able to see you as you walk up the ramp and your smoke dispels, and you still won't be able to see them. So it totally defeats the purpose of using the smoke in the first place because you're not taking advantage of the vision advantage that you have. So one of the nice things about Smoke of Deceit is that you actually move significantly faster than when you are not under the influence of it. So you actually, it might take a little bit longer to walk around and stay on the high ground or come around from behind the enemy team, but you actually have this movement speed to enable you to do that. So don't just pop a Smoke of Deceit and run straight at the enemy team. That doesn't really help you. That's not only is that predictable, but it doesn't really there's almost no point in using the Smoke of Deceit to do that, since you could just run at them anyway. And the smoke, you might be able to get a little bit closer, but generally smoke is best used to give you this really massive vision and initiation advantage. And so if you're not utilizing smoke to give you that advantage, you might as well just not even use it in the first place. So look at the map and look at the high ground and be aware of where you're walking. And the 5th way that most people are using Smoke of Deceit incorrectly is that they use smoke when the creep waves are pushed onto their side of the map. And the reason that this is an issue is, 1, because creeps provide vision. It's kind of like having a ward in each one of the lanes. And if those wards are very far on your side of the map, it's like very deep vision. That means that the enemy team has a pretty good idea of where you can and cannot be and can play accordingly. Also, if all of your heroes are missing from the map and the enemy creeps are beating on your towers and nobody is defending, there's probably a pretty good chance that you guys are smoked, and the enemy team will recognize that and play safely to counter you. The second reason why creep wave and creep equilibrium is very important when you're using Smoke of Deceit is that this situation happens. And this has happened a lot to me. I'm sure it's happened to you before, but you guys get your items, you get a big power spike, you get your blink dagger on your Enigma and a BKB, you're ready to go, you pop the smoke, you have a ward deep in the enemy jungle, you see their carry farming, you see a couple supports, you get the initiation, you blow them up, they cast no spells, you blow your black hole, everybody dies on the enemy team, you just got a 5-man wipe, you're ready to go, but what do you do now? You look at the creep waves. it's back at the river. You're standing by their tier 2 tower. You can't hit it. You can't bring it down. It's got backdoor protection. So, what do? Do you farm their jungle camps? Is that a good use of Black Hole and Smoke of Deceit and maybe a BKB charge? Probably not. So you look at the creep wave, you think, maybe we can push it and quickly take this tower. So you run back and you realize you see the death timer is ticking down. By the time you get to their tower to actually take the objective, the enemy team is all alive and they're there and they have their spells because you killed them before they could cast any of them. You don't have your spells anymore. You don't have your BKB. And now you're faced with taking a bad fight and forcing an objective without an advantage. And the reason that you use Smoke of Deceit in the first place is to gain an advantage and then snowball that into a bigger one by taking objectives like Roshan or barracks or towers. So, if you do not push the creep waves in to be able to take objectives after you take a good team fight with Smoke of Deceit, then you are basically wasting your time. So push the creep waves, spam them out, use those AoE abilities, clear the waves. You can even have one person or two people pushing the wave while three other people are smoked next to them or in the trees or behind them. And that way you actually get some momentum towards the enemy side of the map so that when you do take that good fight, you do wipe the enemy team and gain this momentum, you can transition it into a big win, take some barracks, and snowball the game in your favor. So those are the 5 ways that people often misuse Smoke of Deceit or the mistakes that they make while they use it. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to get more awesome Dota 2 content on a regular basis. Good luck, have fun, everybody, and go win some MMR.